again. A lot of you have been asking us on what was my journey through how I got started in the brow and lash industry and how I made the decision to become a lash artist. And now I'm gonna tell all the story and give you all these little tricks that some of you have been asking, because at LBA we believe that we should always support the women in the beauty industry, and I'm here to support you and help you and make that extra step that you want to do. Okay, so my story started very randomly. It came out of nowhere because when I was a kid, my dream job was always being a journalist. That was like something that I always wanted to do. I'm just so amazed about how people do research and go deep into doing the news and coming out with something that like exciting them. So to me that was like my favorite part, being a journalist. I have never imagined myself being in the beauty industry, although I always like to be like my hair, makeup, and nails very well done. But like to become a lash artist wasn't something that I planned for. So my journey is a little bit different than other people just because the way that I started to be a lash artist was by mistake. And I say that just because it was a friend. We were having a conversation one day and she came to me and she's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to take the lash extension course. And I'm like, oh, what is lash extensions? I didn't even know those things existed. Like I know about like hair extensions and things like that, but like I never imagined something like a lash extension was a thing. So I'm like, oh, what is that? And then she explained to me the lash extension is something that you apply in the lashes the same way they apply it in the hairs. I'm like, oh my God, is that a thing? And then she's like, yeah, I'm going to go do the course in Colombia. For those who don't know me, I'm from Colombia. I've been living in Canada for 18 years. But yeah, she just wanted to do the course in Colombia. So I was like, okay, yeah, let's go. Let's go for like a vacation. Like I always go one step above anything. So I was like, yeah, let's do the course and let's open a salon and do like a beauty spa. And we can offer like different services. I don't know, like massage, nails, all those things. And she's like, wait, let's do the course first. I'm like, no, I just want to look into it. Then I start like again, I wanted to be a journalist back then when I was a kid. So I always do research on something that I'm very interested in. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do a research on how, like what are the requirements to be a lash artist in Canada, like to open a salon, all of those things. So I went, I did the research and I called the city actually, and they told me, no, you need to, if you want to open a salon, one of the owners have to have the certificate from Canada. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it was three friends in total that we wanted to go and take the course in Colombia. And I'm like, listen, we have to take the course in Canada because this is gonna give you some issues. So I started researching some people, doing some calling like different academies and getting some information, and everybody told me some different stuff. So anyways, I was like very excited about the subject. So I told them, listen, I found somebody that she does it. She's been 8 years in the industry and I want to do the course. And they're like, yeah, okay. We paid. It was a 1 day course, which I think is it's a lot of information for you to digest in just 1 day. So I was like, okay, whatever. This I learned throughout my life because that day I was like excited. So it's 1 day, so easy, perfect. So, anyways, we took the course. The teacher was like, she gave us as much information, I guess, as she could, but I wish she could have done more. Now that I'm a trainer and I teach to my clients and to my students, I kind of see what she was missing, but I guess it's okay. Like I was just learning, so to me it was perfect. So we took the course, and then she was like, we start doing the lashes in person, like in a person, like in a model. And then I start taking the tweezers and doing all these things. And she's like, have you done lashes before? I'm like, no, I have never done lashes in my life before. She's like, wow, you're like a natural because the way I grabbed the tweezers and the way that I was like doing the isolation and all these things, the way that I position myself on the client was very natural to me. let's step back for a second. I was a dental assistant also, so maybe that's why it was a little bit easier for me, just because I was always like taking tools and tweezers and all these things that are like from dentistry that are like very tiny. So maybe that's why it was a little bit easier for me. But yeah, I was like, yeah, no, I never have done lashes before, and I never have taken tweezers before, nothing. Like everything was so new for me. So I was very excited about it. I did the course. Like all my other two friends did the course, and I just fall in love from like day one. Like that was like, oh my god, I love this. Like it's like I can do this the whole day. My other two friends, on the other hand, they hate it. They didn't like it. They try it. I think they did like two more models just to like try to get the experience, but they hate it. They told me like, Natalia, this is not for me. I cannot do it. And I was like, oh, I love this. Like I started doing models and trying to like train and like master, like get the speed with anybody that it was like crossing from me, like my sisters, my aunts, any of my friends, anybody that will let me allow to do their lashes, I will do it. So I practiced a lot. Like I was also timing myself on each set that I did, and I was getting like faster. I was getting like more practice. I was starting to like listen. I went to like take ¿cómo se llama esto? Listen, I went through Pinterest to Instagram. At that time, like Pinterest was like more I don't know, like was something that you see more than Instagram. So I will go everywhere to like look for sets, how different like looks, how people like the lashes of different persons, and I will do research all the time. Like I was looking all the ingredients for the glue, like what are the lashes made of. Like I was always in my phone looking for all these questions that in my head was like running so fast. To get the speed on how to lash on a client, basically I did like 20 clients even before I did my one first paid client. So when I did my first paid client, I was so excited. Also, I was so nervous because this was like a referral from one of my friends. So basically, my friends is like, oh my god, I love the lashes. So one of my friends saw them and she wants to do them with you, and can you take her as a client? I'm like, oh my god, I'm nervous, but I already have like 20 plus clients that I did for free, that was like family members and friends. So I was like, you know what, I think I'm ready to take my first paid client. When I did her, I was very nervous. Also, I wasn't fast. Like it took me 2 hours and a half to do her. I didn't have like a bed, a proper bed or a proper chair. So I have to do her in my friend's sofa, and I was like with a little tool, like a stool to sit, and it was my back almost killed me. I'm telling you guys, like it was so hard. I almost quitted that day. But then at the end my client saw her lashes and she was like super happy, super excited, and I was like, oh my god, this is like the best feeling of my life. So I was like, okay, this is something I can do, because this wasn't like my full time job. Like I was a dental assistant, right? I was just on maternity leave because at that time my baby was like almost 8 months. So I was about to finish my maternity leave. So I was like, oh, no, 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 I want to try something, because I'm the kind of person who wants to do stuff all the time. Like I cannot be a seat like a like sitting at home doing nothing. Like it's something I cannot do. My first client that I got paid, she was so happy, she was excited, and I was like so confident that I was able to do her. After I did my first client, I decided to say, you know what? I want to do this full time. This is something that I enjoy, that I like, that it brings happiness to my life, peace. So I was like, you know what? I want to do something else. So I started saying I want to do it so I say I want to do it from my house at the beginning. But then I was like, this is something I cannot do. Like I have 3 kids. So how am I going to do clients with 3 kids, like even if I do it in off times, like I have so much to do at home. So I was like, no, this is not an option for me. I'm the kind of person that needs to be out of the house to be working, because I don't know, I get so distracted by all the things that you have to do at home, like the food, like laundry, cleaning, opening the door, making sure like your kid is safe, all these things. So I was like, I cannot be at home all the time and work. So I started looking for places to rent so I can open my studio. Some people say, why don't you rent a space in a salon? And I was like, oh yeah. I started looking. Then when I started looking, they told me like, oh, you have to pay the rent plus some commission on your clients. I'm like, so what? Does this sound like okay to me? Like, why am I gonna pay commission to something that you're not bringing to me? So, anyways, I ended up renting my first space in a salon that it was designed to take people like me that is a solo person business, and it was like a place that you can design, decorate, run, and operate by yourself. You don't need to be by another person or determine the hours that you're gonna work by somebody else. So I was like, perfect for me. I opened my first studio. I started working there, going every day because it was like a little plaza with little salons. So it was like very nice. I was like, oh, maybe I'll get clients from my other coworkers. Listen, I had days that I didn't work, not even maybe one client a day. If it was like that was like a lot to me. So I was like, it's okay, this is gonna get better. It passed 1 month, no clients 2 months, no client 3 months. It was a little bit more. But you know what? Like persistence and that motivation of doing something that you like, and when you like something, you should always stick to it. Don't start switching because that's when you don't like you have to get that experience and you have to get that consistency on something. So I stayed there. I was like, you know what, it's gonna get better. I started talking to more people, doing more networking, and having to know more clients that like start saying, yeah, I want to do my lashes. And I did Groupon at some point, and that helped me bring some clients to my salon, even though didn't get paid for the whole price of the sets or for the refills. It was good because I was getting the experience, people was getting the reviews, I was getting comment into my website, into my Google account. So it was something good. Then after I started getting busier, 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 to a point that I was so busy, like I was doing 9, 10 clients per day, and I was way too busy. I was getting too tired, and I said to myself, you know what? I have some savings. This is time for me to move on. So I moved to my salon, which is like I call it my baby. That was like my first salon. I think that's something that everybody dreams when you have your own business, is having your own space, having to decorate it, renovate it, do anything you want with it. So this was my space. It's like a 1,600 square feet salon, which is big. I decorate this whole thing. I renovate the whole salon. I did it the way that I wanted. At that time, I hired 2 girls. One of them, I trained her from scratch. The one, she had some experience, but I was always like on top of them, like making sure I do like a supervision on the each client every time they do a set. So it was very exciting. Like everybody was like the best environment to be working at. Everybody loved them. How peaceful, how nice the energy was in the salon, and it was like something that I always dream about. Then COVID came. Thank you, COVID, for what you did to us. I think everybody was hit by COVID. So COVID came, and we were very sad too because we were one of the industry that was the first industry to be closed by the government. So I was super sad because I was like, what do I do? Okay, like we didn't know anybody, nobody knew about nothing, what was going on. First they say 1 week, then they say 2 weeks, then we jumped to a month. Then we were in the third month. And I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, I still have a lot of things to pay. Like everybody keeps saying go bankruptcy, like you're paying so much for your business. And I was like, no, I have to wait. This is like my kid. Like this was like my kid that I made, that I decided, that I designed, that I did everything for it. So it was like very, very hard experience. And I didn't took it that well. I was one day, I think in the middle of the pandemic, I had to go and check my store here and there because to make sure like nothing was like, I don't know, like water or anything like animals that can come in. Like it was months that the salon was by itself. So I went one day and I was outside the door. You guys cannot imagine. I couldn't go in. Like I started crying, and I was like, "This is like having a kid that you know you can do so much for it, but your hands are tied. Like having a kid that is sick, and you know, like you have all the resources and the money and all these things to save that kid, but you cannot do anything because it's like it's out of your hands, like control. So the same thing happened to me. I was very, very sad that day. I couldn't go inside my salon because I cried so much for what was going on. And I was like, I could work. My business was like at the peak of the peak. And then I was like, this is so sad because it just tell me this. It's different when you have like a business and it goes bankrupt because you have bad decisions on making like bad decision making, or you have bad people working for you, or you didn't manage your money well, and then you have to close your business. It's a different thing, right? Because it's kind of like your fault, but at this time wasn't my fault. It was something I couldn't do, like nothing I could do, so it was kind of hard on myself, but it's fine. Anyways, they let us open like in August. Everybody kept telling me, close the store, close the store. And I was like, no, I'm not going to close the store. I'm going to keep it open. Then we opened. On August was the first time that it allowed us to open since March. So when I opened the store, uh, a lot of my clients came back, but a lot of them have like parents or small kids, and everybody was kind of scared. So that month, I didn't even make the rent. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Like now, this is serious. Then I took the decision to close my first salon, and I was like, I cannot do this anymore. This is draining me because I'm just spending so much money, but I'm not getting any money back. So I decided to close it, and then I went back to Colombia for like a couple months. I stayed with my family. Actually, in Colombia, the COVID was bad, but they're still working and stuff. So I took a couple courses also. And I was like, you know what, let's just do different stuff. And then I decided to come back to Canada. So when I came back to Canada, one of the first people that I contact was Anne, our LBA CEO. She was so excited to know that I was back in the business because I know her from like very long time before COVID hit. I was like always buying all the stuff and all my products from them. So I called her. I'm like, yeah, I'm back. I'm gonna start lashing again. La la la. Anyways, because I came back and it was so sad. I was like one of my darkest time of my life. I felt like I have like zero creativity. I didn't have my store. I was like, I have to start from scratch because my client base was like out of 1,000 clients. I didn't have no clients, so I have to start from zero. So I was in very rough time when one day I received a call and it was her, and she offered me to start working with LLBA, doing some marketing and Instagram and some the online training. I used to be a trainer before, but because of COVID, I stopped doing that. And then she's like, "Can you do the training with us and be our master trainer?" And I'm like, oh, "This is something I really want to do. I don't know. It's something I haven't been working for somebody else before, but this is something I could do. Like this get me out of my comfort zone. So let's try it." I said yes, and then I tried for a little bit, and then I didn't like it. Then I'm like, you know what? It's okay. I'm just gonna go. And then I came back after, and it's been like quite a journey because working with LBA have taught me so much about myself and the industry, and about being able to work with other people, have different experience. So it's something that empower me. Like it's something that is been pushing me to be the best version of myself. So yes, I'm very excited to be working with LBA. And as you guys know, I'm the master trainer. I'm teaching 5 different courses right now. I'm the one in charge of a team also. So I'm very excited to be joining and in this journey, also making my journey very nice and exciting. And I want you guys to take that opportunity. And even though you guys have like a rough time, listen, we always learn from those rough times, and we always get the best of those rough times to get it to yourself. So if you have something similar like that, leave me a comment below, because listen, we got our backs. If you're lashing and you're in the lashing industry, brow industry, just remember that it's not easy. It's something that you have to keep striking on every day, and it's something that you have to keep working every day. This is not something that you learn one day and it just go away. Like I told you before, guys, I have grown in this business slowly, but I've been enjoying my journey as an entrepreneur and as a training right now. So if you guys want to do something like that, just keep striking for that every day and keep practicing, because it's very rewarding at the end. I get this question all the time: where do I see myself in few years? And it's something that is, it drives me excitement or and happiness, because it's like, wow, I want to do so much with my life in the future, that like right now I'm working in projects that will allow me to be and have that freedom that I want in the future. I want to do the best of the best of the best of the trainers that is going to be in the market in the world. So I'm working toward that future and towards that end goal. So yeah, my future in a few years maybe it's going to be something big, and I'm working towards that. So yeah, I don't have it very clear, but yeah, I can tell you that. Thank you so much again. I hope you guys enjoyed this little story tell of my journey, and I hope you guys get inspired by it. Bye.